Hi, and welcome to another Average Joe Hockey Report. In today's video, we talk about the firing of Julien and Muller and how they have failed as coaches. We also talk about the promotion to Dominique Ducharme being interim head coach of the Montreal Canadiens and Alex Burrows being promoted as an assistant coach from Laval to Montreal. While the firing of Julien could improve player deployment and youth development, I don't think that this will be a drastic improvement for the Canadiens. I also find the firing at an interesting time considering that these moves happen if Gallagher's goal wasn't disallowed. However, I'm gonna say this, maybe it does eventually happen, considering how the Habs have played in their last 5 games or so. I also, however, question a few things that Julien keeps doing. He continues to have Philippe Danault with Brendan Gallagher and Tyler Toffoli. While Danault's play itself is his fault and not the coach's fault, and while Danault turned down a contract thinking he is worth more and hasn't shown that he has earned a new contract and is more or less a more defensive player but doesn't want to play a defensive role, consistently deploying him with Toffoli and Gallagher when I feel Jesperi Kotkaniemi should be playing there isn't on Danault. While KK, Kotkaniemi's nickname, has the same amount of points as Danault, he averages 3 less minutes than Danault does. I feel it's hindering KK's development, and it feels like back when David Desharnais would be favored to have more ice time over Lars Eller and Alex Galchenyuk, with Desharnais not really being productive, just like Danault hasn't been. I feel like the lack of deployment and use for Alexander Romanov is a concern as well. Romanov, I believe, could be used more consistently on the power play and should be given some time in overtime instead of Ben Sherratt, for example, which has occurred in the last few overtimes, which is another example of poor player deployment in situations. I'm not saying I dislike Ben Sherratt, but he doesn't have the speed and the offensive skill to be out on the ice in a 3-on-3 overtime, whereas I feel that Romanov does. Also, while I was not a fan of his defensive game, and he was inconsistent in Montreal back when he played there, and hasn't showed any signs of improvement in Columbus, Max Domi did say after he was traded that he didn't know where he stood with Julien, which adds to the problems of youth development in regarding the coach. Julien's issue of youth development goes even further back as the head coach of the Boston Bruins. As I have seen in comments, how Bruce Cassidy has handled his youth and his team better than Julien has, and I think I recall when the Bruins won the Cup in 2011, at one point Tyler Seguin was a healthy scratch, but was eventually put in the lineup against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and even played a key role in helping the Bruins defeat the Lightning, which makes me question why he was even a healthy scratch in the first place. As for Muller, his role was to run the power play and the forwards. The power play can't even get set up at times, and while the forwards were off to a hot start, they've cooled down for a while now. It's been a problem for years, and the writing was on the wall for Muller. Dominique Ducharme is currently serving as the interim coach. He was just named the interim coach just yesterday. Sorry. Ducharme. Take a look at Ducharme's track record. Ducharme has a Memorial Cup championship with the Halifax Moosehead in 2013, and during his time as a coach, coached the like of Nathan MacKinnon, Nikolai Ehlers, and current teammate Jonathan Drouin. Ducharme also has coached Team Canada in the World Junior Hockey Championship, leading them to a silver medal in 2017. That was the shootout loss to USA, and a gold medal in 2018. He was brought in the Montreal Canadiens organization on April 27, 2018 as an assistant coach, and will now be the interim coach. Former Vancouver Canuck Alexander Burrows, who only recently retired and was an assistant coach for the AHL's Laval Rocket, who are the affiliates of the Montreal Canadiens, and has also received a promotion, now being an assistant for the team. So while these moves may not improve the team drastically, keep an eye out for youth development, and player deployment in the future of Montreal Canadiens games. Also, keep an eye out for if assistant coach Luke Richardson is on the hot seat, as his job of running the defense and penalty kill has been suspect. Remember, if my facts aren't accurate or straight, or if you disagree with what I have to say, don't belittle me, educate me. Take care, everyone, and follow my Instagram page, Average Joe Hockey Report, and my YouTube channel, Marty Tommy.